What's up, We Book It fam? This is your boy Big Daddy C, guest host filling in for Coach who is under the weather today. We are joined by the Booker of the Year, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Freaky Fritos. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my singles and tag team competitors. Kelsey, what are you doing here? Sorry, dog breaking. You never know what you're going to get with these live shows. But I hope you guys are having a better Monday than I am. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, it's very unpredictable ending to Monday Night Raw, ending that none of us could envision happening. But we'll get to that. So starting off, welcome to the Raw Dog Monday of this week. We're going to go through the events of tonight's Monday Night Raw. It was, I would say, a pretty interesting show today, coming off the off the big pay-per-view Elimination Chamber on Saturday. So starting off, we had a major pipe bomb promo by CM Punk, who came out just livid. You saw him come get out of his truck, walk through the arena, walk through the Gorilla's position. Music hits, and he just takes a beeline all the way to the arena, grabs the mic, just taking shit off the announce table, everything, going crazy. So he basically is saying we starting the show off with a bang. He said he might get WWE kicked off of Netflix based on what he's about to say. And so he's like, I'm gonna basically introduce himself to his enemies because his name is CM Punk. That means everybody. And so he's like, give me a name of who I need to start off with. And you got Cole and McAfee helping him out, saying The Rock. So of course he starts off by calling out The Rock, looks right into the camera, says he doesn't care that he's on a TKO board. Basically mocks him for being bald and doing a slapping on the arm thing and shit and the goosebumps. He said he doesn't care about winning a fake title. He wants to earn it. And then he brings up John Cena, who we all know turned heel, the heel turn that shocked the world on Saturday night. And basically he says after 20 years of the hustle, loyalty, and respect, he gave them the benefit of the doubt. He says he said now, after all this time, everyone can see that you've been selling all this bullshit to everyone and the kids. He's saying, ironically, Mr. Don't Give Up, Mr. Never Give Up, you all gave up on the kids. And so he says he'll catch up on these ball frauds, and when he does, he's gonna make a wish that he never did. So he was cooking. And last but not least, he moves to the main guy, Seth Rollins, basically telling Becky Lynch, hey, come get your man before he does, or he's gonna put him in a wheelchair. And right on cue, here comes Rollins. CM Punk, he said, fuck this, didn't waste no time. He ran right up the ramp, and they started brawling. So they brawled for about a good 5 minutes or so. They was brawling all over the arena, man. Security and the backstage guys. You see Kenny Dykstra and all these, just everybody's out there trying to break this shit up, man. And so McAfee ended up getting caught in the middle of the brawl as it moved to the ringside arena. And so that was like their first break that they moved, first commercial break that they moved to. And McAfee was like, holy shit, Cole. And so, and then eventually, we had a segment with the Judgment Day. We had they were in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Dominic Mysterio's essentially kissing up to Liv and Raquel. They noticed that Finn Balor wasn't too pleased or happy because it's almost like he was jealous that they had tag team championship gold and he does not. And so he's talking about how fine he was, that he's doing all right. He congratulated Liv and Raquel on winning the women's tag team titles, even though Liv Morgan lost the Elimination Chamber. And then Dom brings up having, a new member, after Finn basically said, yeah, you guys, got embarrassed by Braun Breaker last week. I just noticed My bad, Fritos. I forgot to ask you what your thoughts were on the opening segment of Monday Night Raw. So I'm just like going quick. My bad,
You're
man.
good. You're good. I know
What
you're
do you,
used to doing it
yeah,
solo.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. What are your thoughts on the opening segment of Monday Night Raw with the brawl and then the whole Judgment Day shit?
with the whole start of the Monday Night Raw, chef's kiss. That's how you start off the road to WrestleMania. Just having an angry CM Punk crash out. Because you know it's going to lead to a future feud with The Rock, eventually down the line with John Cena. And, well, as we found out, hate to spoil it, we have a future match with Seth Rollins and CM Punk next week on Monday Night Raw. But just seeing them go at it, I would hate for the feud to end because, you know, if they had a more intense match in WrestleMania, that's going to be amazing. But just the whole setup for this segment was beautiful. That's how you start off the show, especially after a big show in Elimination Chamber with a historical moment like that. With the Judgment Day, that was a fairly decent segment. We're getting more teases of the Demon, Finn Balor. If you've noticed in the background, the clubhouse, you keep seeing like little posters, little pictures, little drawings, or whatever you want to call them behind Finn. So I think we're going to see a crash out version of Finn soon when eventually they split up the Judgment Day and the first character he goes back into is going to be the Demon Finn. So I'm hoping for that very shortly.
Yeah, I never did think about that. That would be very interesting to see. I do think this should be the very end of the Judgment Day coming up soon because now that Priest is no longer in the group and Rhea is no longer there, it does not serve a purpose for them to continue this faction any longer. And so moving on here, we have let me see here. So we have Otis versus Gunther. We know last week Gunther went against Kira Tozawa, basically squashed him, and then tried to attack. He basically attacked him after the match. Otis intervenes and saves Tozawa, but he ended up getting choked out as well. So here we are this week. Otis going against Gunther, and so he's basically just waiting Gunther, and Gunther comes out. Gunther comes out saying Otis is strong and called him a freak of nature, but to him, he's just a freak. He belongs in the same category as Jey Uso. He called him a people pleaser who was a clown for the fans, and basically saying he doesn't belong in his ring, his sacred ring. So now the bell sounds off. This match was pretty solid. We thought it was going to be a good squash match, but it was actually some good back and forth action. I felt like Otis definitely held his own. Gunther did dominate the match mostly. We had one commercial break. Show came back. Otis began to fire up. He had a couple of moments. I think he slammed Gunther, hit him with a nice little body slam. And then eventually Gunther would take control and then finish off Otis with a power bomb. So what did you after the match, Gunther put a sleeper hold on Otis, which brought out Tozawa to try to make the save. He ends up power bombing Tozawa onto Otis. This would bring out Jey Uso to come make the save. He runs Gunther off, but out of nowhere, he gets attacked by A-Town Down. He eventually gets the upper hand and beats him up, sends him outside of the ring, only to be choked out by Gunther. So what did you think of the match and the aftermath of the match?
First things first, Gunther, if you have a problem with Otis, you have a problem with me. And I'll say this, let that one marinate, bud. All right? No one disrespects Otis like that, ever. I will not allow any disrespect on Otis. You sick son of a bitch. But yeah, I thought the match was fairly good. I mean, last week we got that squash match with Tozawa. So it's nice, refreshing to see Otis doing this. I'm hoping they do something different with Alpha Academy, or at least with Otis for sure. I'm a big Otis fan. That's no lie. I just wish they do something more with him. He deserves another mid-card title run or something along those lines, or another tag team, something. But the aftermath of it, This is definitely building Jay to be the underdog. Because as of right now, after Elimination Chamber, the World Heavyweight Championship is second fiddle. No one's thinking about it because everyone's focused on Cena and Cody and The Rock. So I think this is kind of not necessarily like super amplifying interest into the match, but it's definitely giving it some flair to it. So that way people are still interested going on into Mania season.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that this whole thing is compared to last year. This championship picture is definitely taking second fiddle because
it doesn't look how pretty this title is.
Yeah,
way more pretty than a certain CEO of We Book It's Championship. That's completely ugly,
right? Yeah, so it's like because this year it doesn't that match doesn't tie into any storyline that that the other main title, the WWE Championship title. So it kind of like is different, but I think the closer we get to Mania, the more I'm like starting to believe the fact that Jay just may win this. And so because I think going through his title run was fairly lackluster, and it didn't help that he lost to Cody at Crown Jewel. And so that kind of felt like that definitely took a little hit. And then the Saturday night's main event, him not being a part of that, as well as the Netflix debut for Raw, him not being much part of that other than a video package. So I feel like that definitely kind of put a damper on the reign. But we'll see what happens over the next month or so with this feud. Next up, we have the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Ivy Nile. We knew that these two had a matchup. I believe what was it last week? Yeah.
Yep.
And so Lyra prevailed in that matchup. And so with this match, let me see here.
Okay. There's no dead air, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
As everybody sees looking at his notes. Yeah. I have my cute pup that always interrupts our show. Kelsey. As she's just looking around, wondering what is going on. Oh, here we go.
So shortly before the match, we had a quick interview segment backstage with Kathy Kelly. She's backstage with AJ Styles. And, of course, Karrion Kross, as he always does, interrupts any backstage interview and grabbing Styles from behind. And but he also had a new look hairstyle, slicked down. Normally he's in a ponytail or something like that. So they were talking about Logan Paul, and Styles say he'll call him out next week on the Raw at MSG. So it seems like that's where we're heading for WrestleMania for Logan Paul. It looks like it's going to be him and AJ Styles. He tells Kross, as far as his evil ways, God knows him. And so the Kross was like, well, that was easy. And then they head over to the match. Soon as the match starts, Valkyria charges across the ring and blasts Ivy Nile with a big shot. Niles will end up fighting back with a dragon screw. She's basically focusing an attack on the left leg of the champion. As Niles began to get a comfortable offensive lead, the show heads into another commercial break. The show came back. Ivy Nile continued to focus on the left leg of the champion, who eventually begins fighting back, throughout the match. Ultimately, she would connect with her Nightwing finisher for the win to retain the championship. And so what did you think of this match? What did you think of the backstage promo between AJ Styles and Karrion Kross and the match itself?
Intrigued. Karrion Kross has been killing it ever since his came back. I'm just interested to see what the storyline is going to be with him and AJ, because after everyone has some type of interaction with Karrion Kross, they crash out and become a heel. So I'm just interested, are we getting another heel AJ? Because that's going to be fantastic. The match itself, fairly decent match. Nothing really too much to write on. it was the right call. Yeah.
Yep. And so next up, we have we get backstage with Jackie Redmond. She's trying to talk to Seth Rollins, who was on his way out of the arena before the interview could even get kicked off. Rollins happens to look at CM Punk. CM Punk is charging. Back at Brawl. They back brawling. I was like, yes, this is what I like to see. And so security breaks it up, and then Rollins is like had a moment with Adam Pearce, and they're arguing backstage. Rollins tells Pearce that he has to do something about this whole situation with Punk. He tells Pearce that this is the hill he will die on, and Pearce issues a steel cage match for next week between Rollins and Punk. And so I did not expect them to actually have a match this soon. I thought it was going to be at WrestleMania. So this one did shock me. And so what did you think of this backstage moment between the two and the announcement of the steel cage match between Rollins and Punk?
Love it. Like I said, from the start of the show to this point where they announced the steel cage match, I love it. Like I said, I wish they would continue this on to WrestleMania. I mean, they still could do plans for WrestleMania. I mean, but Seth still got to finish up his ties with Roman Reigns. And I can see him potentially the favor, maybe a triple threat, but I doubt that'd be the case because that favor's still in that back pocket. So I doubt that'd be him trying to get his pound of flesh on Seth and wasting a favor, essentially.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to the match. That match is probably going to be your main event next week.
Yeah, and it's an MSG, so I'm pretty sure, they're going to go all out for that show in MSG. So I'm excited to see what happens next week. Who knows? Roman could show up. He's been out for a hot minute. We don't know where he's been. We know he got attacked by Rollins at the Royal Rumble, and so we'll see what happens if he decides to come back. So next up, we have Penta. We had Ludwig Kaiser in the ring in street clothes or his little fancy suits or whatever, with a microphone in the hand, as he always does every week. He's demanding everyone's gratitude. He says last week he took back the attention he deserves from Penta. He says that he is a future world champion regardless of whether we like it or not. That's not going to happen, but nevertheless.
Best.
Yeah, exactly. And he then calls out Penta and basically tells him that if he thinks they still have unfinished business because of what John Cena did to Cody Rhodes on Saturday is nothing compared to what he'll do to Penta. And he tells Penta that he will make him know what fear is. And so Penta will eventually make his way out to the ring, hits a Hurricanrana on Kaiser and a sling blade. Penta will send Kaiser out of the ring with a head scissor takedown and hits a springboard clothesline and suicide dives onto Kaiser outside of the ring. And then Penta would celebrate in the ring as Kaiser tends to his wounds outside of the ring. So what did you think of this segment here?
I love the feud. It's a great feud for Penta. And it's also a great feud for Ludwig to be on his own, essentially. I mean, right. After him going after the Intercontinental Championship, it's something great for them, too, to build them both up to eventually they go for a title run. But, yeah, Penta, I can't say enough about Penta. He is the coolest mofo on the roster. Just from his entrance, his aura, everything. And him literally going from 0 to 200 to go out and attack Ludwig. I love it. So I'm just looking forward to see what this feud builds up to.
Yep. Next up, we have the WWE Tag Team Championships match between the War Raiders and American Made. This is a rematch from the previous matchup that they had. I believe it was last week, right?
Yeah,
or a week before
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. So they had that matchup, and then American Made essentially out of nowhere just attacked them with like a steel chair or something like that, and just
the title belts. They had
the title belts, and got disqualified. And so fast forward to this week, we had the rematch backstage. You had Kathy Kelly catches up. Before that, we had Kathy Kelly catching up with Bianca Belair. She asked Bianca about the whole Jade Naomi situation. Bianca says that out of respect for both women, she doesn't want to talk about it. And she said basically she's just focusing on who her opponent will be at WrestleMania. And so she also mentioned that, while it's kind of bittersweet while she's, hurt by what happened, she's also happy, and joyous about winning the chamber match and going on to WrestleMania. So next up, we have we're back into the ring. Creed brothers. Prior to, we had the Creed brothers walking backstage ahead of their match. War Raiders are walking backstage well before the match, and so went to commercial. We returned. We get a quick video package of Chad Gable walking through the streets, looking for someone, asking everyone, "Do you know this guy?" While showing them a picture. So it appears that the person he's looking for is a guy that he's going to go learn. What was he going to learn again?
Luchador.
Luchador. So we know there's been rumors about who this guy may be. Some people think it may be what was his name again?
Aleister Black.
Aleister Black. That's the main guy that everyone's been thinking about. So we'll see what happens with that. They're gonna stretch this the whole thing out until probably closer to WrestleMania, maybe like a week or two before. I think that it'll get revealed by then. So Chad approaches a veiled man and asks him if he's a man that would teach him how to destroy the luchadors. The man asks for money and then gives Gable a box. Gable opens it, and then we cut to black. Inside the arena, the War Raiders make their way to the ring. American Made was already out there waiting for them. Bell sounds, and we're off and running. War Raiders pretty much start things off. We got Eric and Julia starting things off for their respective teams. They pretty much lock up all around the ring to start things off. We got Julia trying to take it down Eric with a suplex, but they continue to grapple throughout the ring. So Brutus will eventually get tagged in. Eric is double teamed. Julius gets tagged back in. Eric is pounding some more in the corner. Julius tried to get a quick pin. Eric kicks out. Brutus is tagged in. So eventually it's just a lot of back and forth. This was a pretty solid match. I think this was the best match on the card, honestly. They, a lot of great athleticism between these two groups, especially the War Raiders, and then American Made. These guys, they're great chemistry in the ring. And so the Creeds are pretty much in control for most of the match, but eventually the War Raiders would gain the momentum. There were a few double team spots here and there. Julius kicked out the most recent one, and then eventually the War Raiders hit their tag team finisher to retain the championships. So what did you think of this match?
I'll start all the way back from the backstage with Bianca.
I'm sorry.
Since we had a whole lot right there, but
yeah.
Interview, but in the back, if you notice, you had Maxine Dupree talking to someone. I'm pretty sure it is Natalia. I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't really tell from it. But so just keep an eye on Maxine because something's going to happen with her. I think they're going to try maybe do a slight little push with her. She deserves it. She's put in a lot of work in the ring and outside the ring. And she's definitely going to be an up-and-coming star for sure. With the Chad Gable stuff, I'm hoping it's something serious and nothing like a joke because I want American Made to be a serious faction. But I think Triple H is making them to be jokish because I have a gut feeling it's going to be a luchador mask, and we're going to have almost a similar situation with Kurt Angle and the whole gold luchador outfit. What was that, 2019, 2018 when he came back? I can't remember the feud. So I'm hoping something serious and nothing joking. But the match itself, yeah, I can't say enough. It was a great match. A couple of little spots that were a little bit rough. But, yeah, those guys have great chemistry between them. I really thought they should have pulled the trigger on American Made for the tag team titles. But I'm still happy with the outcome with War Raiders because they're a fantastic group. I have a lot of praise for them, especially with all their injuries that they've overcome. So I'm happy with this run that they got going on right now. They're shown that they're a legit champions with their run.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think like because I was talking with somebody earlier about it. Like I was like, them as the War Raiders, I like them a lot better than them as the Viking Raiders. I feel like it just never worked with the whole Viking gimmick, and I feel like
Triple
with
H
this,
knows how to use them. That I'll
yeah,
give him credit for that. He knows how to use them properly.
yeah, and so I think with this new gimmick or rebranding, it definitely works well for them, especially with everything that comes along with it, the insurance, all of that. And so kind of give you that biker boys vibe with their gear and shit. So like they like just catch them fresh out of a Harley Davidson store. Like that's what I think of when I see them. But yeah, man, they definitely have been on fire lately. So hopefully they they get a long run with the championship. If not, the rivalry that they have with American Made is pretty solid. And so I don't mind seeing them go back and forth, for the championships. It works a lot better because they're competing a lot more, than Judgment Day. Like it's not no BS, that you see every week with the Judgment Day. Like you actually see legit tag teams having like, credible matches, no craziness outside of the ring, like none of that bullshit. Like this is just straight up pure tag team wrestling going on. So that's what you want to see, and so I'm glad that they were able to get that. And this is, to me, the best match on the card, honestly. And so moving on, we had another announcement for our championship. Another match announced for Monday Night Raw and MSG next week. We had a recap video package of the unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They said Sami Zayn is out indefinitely as a result of nerve damage to his neck. So it's probably a chance that we may not see Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, but who knows? Shout out to Shane B 1986. What's going on, people? Hey, glad to see you joining on to the watching the pod, man. We appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Yep. And so from there, we had the LWO. We had their little video promo, their video package. We had Ray and them talking about the New Day's attack last week. And so basically saying that next week, Dragon Lee and him are going to give the New Day the worst Monday of their life. So they're going to square off in a tornado tag match with no tags and no disqualifications. Oh my God. After all this time, we get a tornado tag team match. When have we last seen that? It's been a long ass time since we had a tornado tag team match with no tags, no disqualifications. And like, I ain't talking about no tables match, no ladder match, none of that shit. Like straight up tornado tag match, no tags, no disqualifications, and no weapons involved, whatever, what else. Like just a regular ass tornado tag match. Like it's been a hot minute since we've seen something like so. So I cannot wait until next week that we get this. And so next up, what you have any thoughts on this announcement and these promo packages?
That match is going to be the match to steal the show next week because Ray and Dragon Lee, they've got great chemistry as a tag team. Mm-hmm. So I'm expecting some high flying luchador moves, and yeah, it's going to be a fantastic match.
Yeah. So honestly, out of everybody in LWO, the only one who is really credible in terms of like actually doing something to help Rey Mysterio has been Dragon Lee. Mm-hmm. Got the other two guys, Phoenix, not Phoenix. Whoever those other two guys, man, like they're useless. Like they're so useless.
They're just beef.
They just there, man. Collateral damage is what I call it. Like no, they're just there. So next up, we had another segment with Braun Breaker being provoked by the Judgment Day once again. Finn Balor's in the ring after the show returned from break. He's talking to the champion, Basically, he was in the crowd with Jackie Redmond. I've been liking these little crowd interviews with Jackie Redmond. Like
it's BS. It's BS.
You don't like it? You don't like it?
I'm tired how everyone else gets them, except for here in America, we get the commercials or the advertisement. Whatever you want.
Oh, wait. So, time out. Now that you mentioned it. So, if you're watching it on Netflix, I wasn't watching on Netflix. I was watching on legal streams. But did you? So, if you're watching from Netflix, you do not get the interviews.
No. So, from everyone that I follow that live outside of the United States, they get those interviews.
They get those. And what about the commercials? Do they not get commercial breaks?
We do not get the commercials.
Okay, because I was watching on legal streams. I did not get any commercial breaks either. So that's crazy because like it went straight back into the shit when I was watching. That's wild.
I pay for my Netflix, and this is the bullshit I get.
Yeah, what $20? Damn near $20 now.
Drop my price.
Yeah, damn near $20 for no ads on Netflix to watch this shit. I was like, man, and yeah, it's BS. But yeah, so Bron Breakker has had a little interview with Jackie Redmond, and so looks like might have been some issues there with this one in terms of like the timing of everything. But yeah, so they were basically bickering back and forth. Finn Balor saying he could take Breakker's title anytime he wants. Breakker ends up coming through the crowd. Dominic Mysterio tries to get involved, but Breakker takes him out, and then Balor in the ring. He takes his shirt off and sets up for a super spear, but Dom pulls out Balor out of the ring just in time to save him. Breakker charges around the ring and hits a big spear and then stares down Balor and Dom. So what did you think of this moment here?
I love it. I mean, there's been reports going around that they might do a multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship. Who that's going to be? Probably Ludwig, Sheamus, Penta. You're going to throw Finn in there now, especially since he's got involved with Bron Breakker. And you know that match is going to feed families. But with everything, this is just hyping my love for Braun even more. Right. He's not really a heel. He's not really a face. He's definitely that tweener. All he does is go around, bark at people, and spear the living crap out of him and show his crazy athleticism. So this is definitely putting him or showing his skills. I love it. It gives Judgment Day something going on because, you know, after this, if Finn doesn't win the championship, it's probably going to be the end, hopefully, of Judgment Day. But, yeah, I feel sorry for Carlito, too, because that spear looked dirty from the angle that he showed.
Yeah, it was nasty. So, yeah, next up, we have our main event. Here we go. Before this, we had an extended look at John Cena's memorable heel turn from the Elimination Chamber. After that, Cole and McAfee run down the updated lineup for next week's Raw at Madison Square Garden. Eventually, we will see Jey Uso backstage. Kathy Kelly stops him for an interview. He talks about everyone doubting him, and Gunther has him doubting himself. Jey Uso insists that he's taking the championship at WrestleMania 41. Then we have a tail of the tape for the Women's Championship match. And so inside the arena, you had Bianca Belair's theme hit. And so she comes out first to get a closer look at who the champion will be that she'll be facing at WrestleMania 41. Show heads to a quick pre-match commercial break. The show returns. Io Sky makes her way to the ring. And then Rhea Ripley comes out. The crowd goes crazy as they always do. And so the bell sounds off. We're off and running with the championship. And so Ripley kind of gained some control throughout this match and hit Rhea with a quick drop kick, which Io kicked out quickly. Io Sky tries to roll up for the pin. Ripley powers out. So there was a lot of good maneuvers here. Head scissors. She countered that into another pin attempt. Sky kicks Ripley, and Ripley rolls out of the ring. And so it was just a lot of back and forth, a lot of crazy maneuvers between these two. Io Sky did find a way to focus on Ripley's arm, which appeared to be injured early on into the contest. And so Sky would be in the driver's seat from this point on. And then she heads up for a moonsault. Ripley cuts her off and heads up after. She would hit a big back superplex off the ropes for a close 2 count. Crowd is chanting, "This is awesome." And so Ripley will lock Sky's leg up into her trademark prism-like submission. Io Sky would crawl to the ropes, sends Ripley out shoulder first into the post, further injuring her. And so she also sent her into the barricade, heads to the top rope to hit her over the moonsault finisher and Rhea kicked out. It was a close 2 count. And so eventually, Sky would look to hit the springboard moonsault to Ripley on the floor, but Ripley tripped her up and then slammed her face first into the commentary desk before collapsing herself. And so Ripley and Bianca Belair will go face to face. Ripley knocks Belair down. Belair pushes Ripley after getting up. Referee comes out. Right. The referee comes out and yells at them both. And not to do this because it's not this is a world championship match. Ripley rolls back into the ring, but is still focused on Belair ringside with her back turned to Io Sky. She leans up and picks Io Sky, and she heads to the ropes. She drags Sky up and looks down at Belair, saying, "See you at Mania, Bianca." She goes for a riptide off the top rope, but Io Sky counters into a Hurricanrana. She heads back up for her over the moonsault finisher, which she connects. She covers Ripley. She wins 1, 2, 3, and is the new WWE Women's World Champion. And so we'll have Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the championship at WrestleMania 41, which more than likely will end up being a triple threat because, they say there are no more, rematch clauses, but more often than not, they still get rematches. Like, let's not kid ourselves here, all right? Because you want to get the former champion a chance to win their shit back, so. So yeah, that's how the show ends. The main event, a major shocker because no one expected Io Sky to win this championship. And so she essentially cried her way to get another championship opportunity after getting screwed in their last. I think it was the
Elimination Chamber qualifier.
Yeah, she got screwed in that match. Yeah, and so.
Rhea tried to help her out.
She tried to help her, and it will end up getting, what was it, disqualification or was it
disqualification?
Yeah, so she essentially cried her way into the match and she ended up getting the win. Rhea kind of took her off the ball by looking at Bianca. But it'd be interesting to see what happens, man, because obviously you got Bianca focusing on a championship match now and still got the lingering shit going on with Jade and Naomi. So this just became a lot more interesting. So we'll see what happens next week, as well as on SmackDown as well. So that has been the show. Frito's thoughts on this?
Bullshit.
I know you was hurt. I know you hurt, man. Like
they showed a graphic with all their winning the championships, their big 2023 moment, and the fact that Rhea's has not won a match against Io. So I thought, maybe this is going to be the night they turn around. I was wrong. Triple H was definitely shocking the wrestling world tonight. Did I think it's the right call? No, because they teased Bianca versus Rhea. I believe a month or two ago. That was going to be they teased it. But I mentioned yesterday's pod, a triple threat match. Different way of how they're doing the triple threat, but they're getting eventually book it for a triple threat. Yeah,
it's just like
I hope is Jade finds out Bianca is the one that told him to do it, and Jade beats the living shit out of Bianca because fuck you, Bianca, for being out there distracting my girl Rhea.
Hey, not too much on Bianca, man. That's still my baby. But yeah, my thing is, you have whoever won the Elimination Chamber. Obviously, you had them win it, going into the thought that, going into we were going to have them go against Rhea. Like, I don't know if you can sell us with a championship match. Whoever won that match go against Io Sky. Like,
because it's another David versus Goliath match.
Yeah, you know, like
you can't
and
sell it twice like that.
Exactly.
And the way I can see this triple threat working out, it's almost like Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
that's how I kind of see how this triple threat will work out if they book it that way.
Yeah, and so this is, and I don't know, like, because it's almost like, all right, now what with Jade and with Jade and Naomi.
Honey's mixed up there, bud.
I know, right? With Jade and Naomi, like, all right, okay, they have a match at WrestleMania, but all right, now how does Bianca fare? It's like, because I personally think that Bianca might have helped set this thing up. So, like, even though she wasn't there in a moment, she was actually in a match when Jade got attacked. Like, I feel like she probably told Naomi, like, hey, go take her out, and then we could be tag team.
Fame.
Exactly. And so that might be how they have to play it. And then they can probably have that set up between Jade and Naomi. Like, but Naomi would be heel. You know, but I don't know, man. It's so much unpredictable stuff going on here, which is good. Like, you know,
it's Mania season.
Yeah, we have things ironed out in a way a little bit, not completely.
Unexpected.
Yeah, everything is not completely ironed out except for the main, you know, championship pictures, you know, for the main titles. But you know, anything could change, man. As we saw last year, anything can change. And so, yeah, this has been the show, the Monday Night Raw Dog recap. This is a pretty good episode of Raw. Next week is projected to be pretty. I think it'll be better, and I think we might have some good matches going on. We got a steel cage main event happening, so be ready for that. SmackDown, I'm pretty sure it's going to be must see this week. Hopefully, you know, Cena and Order Rock shows up, but you know, as history has shown, they don't show up consistently. So, but after Saturday, I think they'll pop up this Friday night because they got to explain. They got some explaining to do. I just don't want to see Cody. I just don't want to see Cody come out there and cut a promo. Like I want to see. I want to see some. I want to see all this. I want to see it go down. I want to see all out brawl. I want to see something. So we'll see what happens on Friday. Thanks for all who tuned in to this recap show. I am your host, Big Daddy C, filling in for Coachman, and this is our special guest here, Freaky Fritos, the Booker of the Year. Thanks for joining me as well. Mike and Coach are under the weather, so wish them the best of luck and the best of health. And so we will catch you guys on Friday for the Fridays. What is it called, Fritos?
Friday, low down, throw down, hoe down, beat around town, add some more adjectives and verbs, and that's your title for the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. So yeah, we'll catch you guys then. Like I said, please follow, share, subscribe on all social media platforms. We're still getting things ironed out with our Spotify and Apple Music. Apple Podcasts. We're on Twitch. We're also on Twitch. Yeah, we're streaming on Twitch and YouTube right now. And then we also have our We Book It Boys Network page on TikTok, where we'll be posting memes, skits, all kinds of funny shit to entertain you guys. And so always, you know.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Right. Yeah.
What's
last
up,
minute. Black man in the back.
I can't say that.
Yeah. So, right. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll catch you guys on Friday. Peace.